It's been 30 years since my high school art teacher failed me from advanced art after I celebrated her giving me a D so I can graduate. She changed her mind. Let's see if I can still remember anything that's of use here. So let's do the horizon. I don't know if you can see that. Can't really see that line, can you? It's not a very straight line. Let's see, maybe if I turn this other light off. I wonder if you could see it better. Not much, huh? That's a shame. If we got closer, wow, you can't see shit. That is just horrible. Okay, well, let's try to do this anyways. So what I was gonna do was, let's say we have a fence post. Here's a nice fence post. Now, use the perspective lines. Let's say this is the vanishing point. And we go like this. So that would be a fence going down to the horizon. And it gets smaller as it fades away. Now, what we're gonna do, this is a little tricky. Well, so let's make the next post. Let's say these posts are all 12 feet apart, and this is supposedly 12 feet. Okay, now, what you need to do is divide this post in half. Actually, the halfway point is just a little bit higher than this horizon line that I made. It's like right here is the halfway point. But the only problem is this line, this horizon line that I made is not straight. It's like all wobbly because I'm over here just drawing drunk. But here you want to use perfect rulers. So just imagine right now a line here. Okay, like that. Now what we do here is that we do a line from this through the middle, through this, where this line crosses like this, and it goes down right there, and then that's where the next post would be. And then you go from this post down to that line, down to here, and then so that is how you know where the next post should be. And you see they get thinner and thinner. And then, I mean, you could always just eyeball it and try, you got to get they got to get tighter and tighter. But if you want the exactness, it's right there, right there, right there. And then you erase these little diagonals that you make. And that is perspective. And if you really want to get detailed, you can actually do two of those types of lines, and you do it from, because this is actually a two-dimensional post here. So from this line to that, and then you go to this line here, and then that's where this one starts, and you do another one from the start of this one to the start of that one, and then that's like really high tech, which is overkill, because you're just making a painting. You want to get enough so it doesn't look weird to the eye. And you could use this for posts, and you could use it like this, telephone post or fence post, or buildings. This could be buildings. Let's see, let me get something to wipe that off. That'd be a good thing to do. Buildings, okay. So, let's say these are buildings. So how do we do that? So here's the beginning of the building, right? This is one building here. And then here's the point. So it's gonna go, and then the building ends here. So this is the building. Okay, that's a building. And I guess it has, and this, I think it's like this. Okay, so you do the same thing. Here's where the next building starts. So these are evenly put out. And then you go boop to the middle. And here is where the next one would start. So let me see this one. Wait a minute, this. Sorry. There you go. You gotta go make that line, that middle line. So from here, to here. Oh, so here to here to here. That's where that building starts. And this line goes from here. We gotta figure out where that line's at. Where's that line at? It's okay. I guess that's a little tricky. But I guess if you did, maybe you might have that one I can't figure out. But and then from there you could, now I could use this since I have a second line. You need that second line to do it. So, and you could do the second line, and that's what, so that one is, there it is. And then, and so on and so forth. That gets a little trickier when you're trying to do multiple lines like that. But that's just a general idea. Oop. All right. Okay. So, let's do something else here. Let's do another horizon line. And we'll get a lower one here, okay? If you can see it. Now let's say this would be the sun right here, okay? So there's the sun. Now let's say we have, here's a square, okay? This is just a two-dimensional square. When we get to 3 dimensions, it's crazy. Okay, now look, here's the sun. In the sun, put a point in the center, okay? Right in the center. Now go perpendicular down. Obviously, I'm not using rulers here. Now from the bottom point where it hits the horizon, you make lines that go to the bottom lines of the square. So here you go like this to that line of the square, and then you go to that line of the square. Okay. Now we make lines from the top, the point here in the middle of the sun, from the top point of the square and to the other top point of the square. Okay. Now where these 2 points connect here, and the lines down here, you connect it. Do you see that? Okay. Now you could just go and erase these lines here, all these back lines here. Oops. This line here needs to be erased. All these lines can be erased, not even marked, but here is the shadow. And that's shadow perspective. This is 2-dimensional. But there is also a 3-dimensional way to do it. And here's the sun shining. And that's exact shadow. Now if it was a 3-dimensional object, that gets a little bit different. You make your 3-dimensional objects. Oops, it's better if it's geometric here for us. And then we'd have one here, and then we'd have one here, and then we'd have one here. So we'd have 3 lines, and then you'd have 3 lines here. And if you use the damn ruler, this should go there, yeah. So all this is going to be shaded in, and the rest could be erased. Now if you have weird objects, let's say you have a man, stick figure, okay? You're like, okay, where's his shadow? Here's the sun. There's the middle point. Here's the horizon. So what you do here, you could just put the man in the square, and then you go and you Well, that's a rectangle, obviously, not a square. You do the same principle. So now you have this general idea of this giant square here, stretched out, and then you just kind of draw him in that square. Oh, you don't see that, do you? Let's get a little closer look. And that's a kind of sloppy, but you kind of have to just, it gives you where the shape is gonna be in there. You can get more detailed. Actually, you could, because you could actually go to find that exact point where the hand hits that part of the square. So you can go and hit that shadow down there. It'll be, oh, there it is. See, I went too high on there. The arm would be there, and then you could, but usually you could just eyeball it, and you know you got the square here. And obviously these legs come from here, 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 and the head has to be up here. And just a general idea, and that's a little bit of basic perspective. Not really art, just cool stuff to do. All right, and I'm drunk, so talk to you later.